Hi, welcome to the live broadcast this morning. Thanks for joining in. Apologize for being a few minutes late. Hi, Super Mario Jr. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to put on a couple more lives and then we're going to start. So today's topic is be your own bank, not the banker. Okay? So it's a cool topic. Hi, where are you from? Let me know your name. My name is Maisel Bilal, and the topic comes from the book Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Hi, Makala or Funny. Welcome to the scope. Nice to see you. So that's actually a flag of Hawaii above me. If you didn't know what that was, thanks for the heart. I moved my office space from one corner of the living room to the other. Thanks for the heart. And now I'm under a surfboard with the flag of Hawaii over me. That's what's going on there. But, thanks for joining me today. I'm excited to have you all on live. India. Oh, welcome from India. Nice to meet you. What do you do there? Nice to have someone from India on live. So now we're going to have Instagram on live. And Instagram is working today. Hi. I couldn't get Instagram to work last week. But hi, Papa Yaman. My name's Maisel Bilal. And I have one more live to turn on, and then we can get started. And that's what I can do. Thanks for the hearts. I appreciate the hearts. Thank you so much. I'll be right back. I got to run and get that computer. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so I am back. So thanks for the hearts. So appreciate the love. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So my name is Maisel Bilal, and I am in Honolulu, Hawaii, if you didn't know where I am. Broadcasting on multiple social media is the way to do it. Yeah, it's like, easier. Hello, I'm doing very well, thank you. It's a lot easier to broadcast at the same time on multiple channels than to do each one separately. Because if you only have a certain amount of time to broadcast like I do, it's important that you get them all done at the same time. Hi, Joe Bar. Okay, so, hold on one second. You might have someone on who may need to blog. Find out soon. Anyway, my name is Maisel Bilal, and I'm just going to turn on my Facebook. So I have a blog called YesFinanciallyFree.com, right? YesFinanciallyFree.com is a blog about how to become financially free. Hi, Ken Convey. Hi, Ray. Welcome to the live on Instagram. Thanks for joining. So what happens is you can become financially free if you create more passive income than your expenses. Okay, so that's how financial freedom is created. I learned this a while back, and so just wanted to review with everyone. So the thing about me is I quit my job. There is someone. I'm gonna block someone. Always have someone, which is good because when you have people to block, it means you have a lot of people jumping on your broadcast. Just block somebody. But, so YesFinanciallyFree.com is my blog. So definitely go there. It's linked in the profile, in your Periscope, in Instagram, and on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. So basically, YesFinanciallyFree.com is my blog where I talk about how I became able to quit my job last year. I'm actually not completely financially free, but I don't have to work a job for a living anymore, which is wonderful. Thanks for the heart. Mazda Casillo, welcome to the scope. I have a mix of passive and active income. My active income now comes from teaching other people how to make passive income, pay down debt, and increase their net worth to become wealthier than they are. So that is where my active income comes from. My passive income I generate through multiple sources, one of which is dividend stock investing. Recently, I started doing cryptocurrency margin lending, which is another source of passive income. But I just started doing that. So, hi, Art MC5. Welcome to Instagram Live. Hi, Dimitri. Welcome to Instagram. So, thanks for joining, guys. And let me know where you're from and what's going on with you. Hi, Dina. 7220. Welcome. And if you're on YouTube, leave a comment under the video, message me. You can also go on YesFinanciallyFree.com, put in your name and your email address. That will opt you into my email list. And every time I do broadcast trainings like this one today, then you can subscribe and you'll get information in advance. You know what time I'm going on. And if I happen to be late, I will email an apology, let you know that I'm on and things like that. So it's good to be on my email list. You also get a free guide to working parent guide to financial freedom. So when you join my email list, I send that ebook to you for free. So you just have to put in your name and your email address at yesfinanciallyfree.com. Alright, so that's my blog. It's a really good blog full of great information. I'm still making it more user-friendly, but it is a wonderful place to get a lot of information from someone who's just a regular mother like myself. I have a 4-year-old son who's super cute. That's why I do these webinars so early in the morning, by the way. Thanks my heart. Because my son, I take care of him during the day, and I love being with him. So I just don't do any internet marketing or business with him. Hi, Ali. And 2, 3, 4. Welcome. Let's go. Hi, Karen. Welcome to Instagram Live. So now all I'm going to do is start Facebook Live, and then I'm going to start our training today. And our training today is become your own bank, right? Not the banker. So that, hold on 1 second. Become your own bank, not the banker. Okay. See how we do this. Okay. Yes. You're just going to have to start live video. There you go. Okay. We can start soon. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Allow. I used to do this all on devices like an iPad too. Now I use a computer, which is more reliable actually. Not the banker. Okay, so we're gonna go live on Facebook Live, and then we will be live on all the devices and we can start. Yay! So hi Facebook Live, welcome. We are live on a bunch of channels. This one is Periscope right here, is live, and that's Instagram Live, and then YouTube Live is right here. Okay, so very excited to have everybody on. You might get a different angle depending on where you are, but I'm working it out, okay? So let's start. Hi, Mehmet. Welcome to Crystal. And some of my lives just ground. Just hit the ground. But they're still here, thank goodness. Okay, let's figure this out. Let's pick up the devices that fell on the ground. Hi. Bienvenue. There's someone from France on. Hello, France. Oh, geez, dropping my stuff. Sorry about that. Okay, you guys got funny views of me now, but we're gonna get this to work. Sorry. Okay, let's see if I can get out of this screen. Whatever happened here. I don't know what's going on here. Whoa, out of there. Whoa, something funky happened on my computer. See if I can get this out. Whoa. Look at this. I did something funky. Sorry, guys. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll continue our live training and I'll try to figure this out somehow. My YouTube live, I don't know if it's still working. I'm going to assume it's still on, even though I cannot see it anymore. Whoa. Okay, I don't know what I did there, but that's crazy. Okay. Anyways, let's continue on, and then we'll figure out YouTube Live later. All right. Hopefully YouTube Live is still on. I don't know if any of you are on my blog and can tell me if it's still on. We will hope so. Okay. Here we go. So today's topic is Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, and it is chapter, I think it's chapter 9. Let me make sure. Chapter 9, Be the Bank, Not the Banker. So a really good topic today. So like I said, my name is Maisel Dalal, and a little bit about myself, and then we'll get started, okay? So that is the flag of Hawaii above me, by the way, if you're wondering. what that is. And there's some surfboards. Okay, so I moved my desk a little bit, hence things falling down, but we'll get used to it. My living room is so much cleaner than it used to be, though, so I'm really grateful. So anyway, I live in Honolulu, Hawaii. Quit my job last year, December 23rd. So it's been over a year. I celebrated a 1-year anniversary celebration just on Saturday night, because it's been 1 year since I quit my job. And luckily, I haven't had to go back, so I'm really excited about that. Hi, RBM HSN. Welcome. Somebody wants to be in my live video. I've never had a request to be in my live video before. Interesting. I didn't even know you could do that. I'll let you in if you want. Hey, Francis, Pia, welcome. Okay, so thanks for joining Facebook Live, by the way. Thank you for being on. And hopefully YouTube Live is still playing. I don't know what happened to my computer. I'm trying to figure out what is going on. I have no idea how to get out of here. Something weird happened. I'm trying to get it out, but I don't know how to get it out. Anyway, hopefully there's no one. So, my blog is yesfinanciallyfree.com. I quit my job last year. I used to work for a bank, funny enough. This chapter is about don't be a banker, and I used to work for a bank. Okay, so today's topic, Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, Chapter 9. Be the bank, not the banker. All right? Hi, Nancy. Hi, CKD. Welcome to the live today. So, in addition to me quitting my job last year, some other things that I've done. I used to have about $40,000 in consumer debt. And I was actually shredding a lot of paper yesterday, cleaning out my place, getting rid of old financial documents. And I came across a memo from my boss. And that was the day that I went in his office when I used to work for the bank. I went in his office and I told him I kept overdrafting, right? What does overdrafting mean? You pay for things and you don't have enough money. So then the bank pays for you and they charge you a fee of like $30 because you don't have enough money. They call it insufficient funds. And then they charge you $30, they pay for you, but then you owe the bank $30 and you have a negative balance in checking account. So I used to do that all the time. I used to overdraft a lot. More than one overdraft a day. So sometimes I'd have like $90 overdraft fees. And I hated it, okay? I hate overdrafting. It sucks. Even if I ever overdraft now, I get really upset. I hardly ever overdraft now. If I overdraft now, it's because I paid from the wrong account by accident. It's not because I don't have the money, but back then it was because I just didn't have the money and I wasn't good at my account. So let's talk about that a little bit. So anyways, I used to overdraft a lot, so I went into my boss's office and I told him that I wasn't doing well with money, and I apologized because I work at a bank, and there's a report where employees get put on for overdrafting. At least I heard there was a report, okay? And I wanted to tell him before he got mad at me or saw my name on the report. So I was afraid I would lose my job, honestly. I was really not feeling good about money, okay? So I really wasn't in a good money spot, right? So I went into my boss, and I was like, listen, I overdraft and I just having some money issues. I want to, in advance, and I'm working on it. And he suggested that I consolidate my debt, get a loan, so I don't pay as much interest and all this kind of thing. And I was like, okay. So he took my debt and he wrote them down on a memo note. Right? I might have that memo note here. Let me see. I saved some of the stuff yesterday because I didn't want to throw it away. So I was like, oh, this might be useful later. Let me see if I can find that memo note. I think I have it. Yeah, I do. It's right. Wait. So I got a lot of stuff in here. And I was like, oh my gosh. I remember that now. But let me see if yeah, here it is. So he wrote a memo. He wrote a little memo on this thing. And here it says CPB, which is a bank, okay, owed $10,000 at 6%. First Hawaiian Bank, and this was back in December 4, 2009. Okay, so this was 8 years ago. Right? Oh, it's been 8 years. It's amazing. Oh, I'm so glad I have no debt. But anyway, Central Pacific Bank, $10,000. First Hawaiian Bank, $8,000. These are different banks in Hawaii that I had debt for. Okay, 16%. And then Chase, I had $6,000 I owed them at, and 2% until the 31st of December. So that's a total of $24,000. And I also had background of $3,000. Background because I had a judgment against me. I had got kicked out, and I was supposed to pay back rent. So that was background. So I was paying that too, $200 a month, $3,000, right? And I could pay $1,400 a month for my debt. Right? That was the amount of money I had to pay for my debt. So there you go. It was a total of $24,000 plus $3,000, $27,000 of debt in 2009. All right. That was the beginning of my debt problems, because it actually ended up being more than that. Thanks to the hearts, the following year I had even more debt. How did you do that cool heart thing, by the way? On Instagram, they just sent me like a spew of hearts. It's so cool. Somebody wants to see. I don't know how to do that. Somebody wants to be live with me. I thought I'd try it. Let's see what happens. I let someone be live with me. I don't know what will happen. You're more than welcome to try. I've never done it before. But anyway, so I had $27,000 of debt. Okay, $27,000 of debt in 2009. All right, so that's a memo from my boss. He was calculating it for me, and he wanted to tell me I could consolidate it, get a lower interest rate, and then I would be able to pay it off faster. So anyway, that's just one of the evidences of my financial woes. I used to have a lot of debt, and it was credit card debt. This was another thing I did. It was a net worth. I did my net worth on a sheet in December 8, 2009. And according to this, I had a net worth of negative $25,522. Okay? So I owed $29,000 and I had a net worth of negative $25,000 because I only had $4,000 in assets. I only had $4,000 to my name. So this is just evidence that in 2009 I had a negative net worth of about $25,000. I owed about $27,000, $28,000 to credit cards, banks, to a landlord. So this is where I was at, okay? And then the following years actually had more debt, all right? I actually went up to almost $40,000 in debt because I started paying for all these courses to learn how to get rich. Okay, so the debt got higher and then it got lower, right? And the debt basically didn't get higher after that because I maxed out on my credit cards. I couldn't get any more debt. And plus I just couldn't pay my back rent anymore, and it just got ridiculous. So what happened was I started changing my spending. I stopped using credit cards completely. Right? I use credit cards now. Back then I stopped because I was like, I cannot get into any more debt. I gotta stop spending, right? And finally, in April of 2016, okay, so last year, paid off all my debt, all right, all the debt. So I became debt free. So that was like amazing feeling, okay? It's amazing when you have so much debt when you become debt free. It's like a blessing from heaven. But it was due to, you know, me paying all those years, $1,400 a month, just paying debt every month. I just paid out tons of money every month. So what happens when you suddenly pay off all your debt, right? And you've been paying every month, $1,400 a month in debt payments, every month you're paying. Finally, you don't have to pay anymore, and you're like, whoa, I don't have to pay off all this debt anymore, right? The first thing I did was I spent some money on things that I don't normally spend on. And then after that happened, I stopped, okay? Because I didn't want to increase my expenses. And then in December, I quit my job. The reason I could quit is because my expenses went down $1,400 a month. That's the first thing. I didn't have to pay out so much money in debt payments. Second thing, during this time from 2009, I think 2010, I started investing. And I started learning how to create passive income. Passive income is money that your money makes for you, basically. It's money that you make without spending any time, all right? Or spending any effort, or very minimal effort, right? So passive income I started creating was through dividends. Like I would invest in stocks and give me dividends, right? I didn't have enough money to buy property or real estate, so I invested in something that was easier to get, which is stocks. Recently, I've done other investing, but back then it was just pretty much all dividend stock investing. So at one point, we were making about $1,000 a month, and by the time, hi Rick, I have a super fan on. Nice to see you. Welcome to the scope. So by the time I paid off the debts, let's see, it was paid off all the debt, and then I quit my job in December of last year. December 23rd is my last day. Hi Rick, nice to see you. Welcome to the scope. Thanks for the hearts, appreciate it. Hi Michael Dovin, welcome. Hi to Landon, welcome to Money. Wow, that's an interesting names you guys have. Welcome to the Instagram Live and Facebook Live, and hopefully YouTube is there. I have no idea. I dropped the phones on my computer and I can't see my YouTube Live. So if any of you are on my blog, you can tell me if I'm still showing up. That'd be great. Anyway, so what happened was I was making our family, myself, my son, our business, and also my husband and our joint accounts, we were making a total of about $500 a month, a little less than $500 a month in passive income. And so I decided last year that it would make more sense if I quit my job, right? I started working my business more, focusing on my business more, and also work on investing, like spend more time investing and doing things like that instead of working my job. There were a lot of reasons to quit. One reason, the biggest reason, was I wanted to be with my son. Salam, wanted to be with my son, Jordan. He was 3 years old. Now he's 4, and I just wanted to spend more time with him. You know, I didn't want to go to a full-time job during the day, come home tired, right, and not want to play with him when I haven't seen him all day. You know, I didn't know who his teachers were in his preschool. Hi, welcome, Kish1631, welcome. One time, one of his teachers called me, right, to tell me that he fell down. I didn't recognize her name, so I didn't pick up the phone at work. And then she left a voicemail. I listened, and I found out it was a teacher at his school that I didn't even know her name, right? That's how bad it got, you know. And so I realized I didn't want to be that kind of a mother, right? So I'm like, forget this, you know. And the last straw was when he was going to go trick-or-treating, right? On Halloween in the United States. I don't know if you're all from here, but hi Rick. I know a lot of you are not from the United States who are on these lives, but basically, we have trick-or-treating, and it's this holiday in America. We go around and dress up in costumes. My son, hi, Sub6, another super fan I have never met before. Introduce yourself. Holy smokes. Tell me more about you. So, thanks for the heart. He was going to go trick-or-treating with his preschool, and I couldn't go because the lady who worked with me at my job, we basically take turns if we want to take time off. She was on vacation, so I couldn't really take time off. Because of that, hi Cylinder, see, welcome, super fan, welcome. Introduce yourself, by the way. Let me know your name, where you're from. So, because I couldn't go to his preschool event, I got so mad. Like, I got madder than you would. I was just angry. You know, I was like, you know what? It's not worth working a job if I cannot be with my family. And if you know me by now, or if you don't, family is extremely important to me. You know, hi Agza201, another super fan. Welcome to the scope. There's a lot of super fans on at Periscope. I really love super fans. Thank you for being on. Tell me your name, where you're from. Hi KF Vasquez. Welcome to the live on Instagram. So anyway, thanks for the heart. So I decided it was not worth working a job to be away from my family. And if any of you know, oh, there's another language I cannot read. Hi, Sebahatin 5050. Welcome to the show. Hi, Bitcoin Rachel. Welcome. So I decided nothing would keep me from my family anymore. Now, if you know me, like I said, I really value family. I did this exercise once where you pretend that you're dead, you're dying, right? And you write your obituary, and you write down what meant the most in your life, right? And I wrote down, you know, the most important thing to me is that I made a difference in the world and to my family. You know, that I was there for my family, for my husband, my son, the people I love the most. Hi, Ali Pervin. Hi, Peter Compass Service. Welcome. Bitcoin Regal 1 to go on live with me, which is cool. Next time you ask, I'll see if I can get you on. We'll see. But anyway, so I quit my job in December. Have not worked for anyone else since. I work for myself. Right now, I train people on how to become financially free as quickly as possible. Like I said, I'm not completely financially free. Our family lives in Hawaii. Oh, we bought a condo in Waikiki, which is very exciting, right? So I'm actually in our condo right now, and never owned property before. But this year I could buy property, so we bought this condo. And we went on 5 weeks of vacation this year, which I've never done since I was like in high school, I think, or something. I went on 5 weeks of vacation. 2 weeks of that was a cruise to LA, and then 1 week was a cruise to Mexico. Never been to Mexico. We went to Niagara Falls this last year, Washington, D.C., Toronto. I mean, we've been all over, and it was just, I mean, I've never had this much free time. I have a lot less stress in my life. I don't have to work a job anymore, so I don't get sick anymore. My son actually pulled him out of school, preschool, because he kept getting sick. Not because I didn't want him to go. It's just because he just was sick. Like a week and a half out of every month for 4 months straight, sick. So I pulled him out of preschool. Now he's healthy. My husband's healthier because my son doesn't get sick. My husband doesn't get sick. So everybody's healthier. We just don't get sick. Right now in Hawaii, a lot of people are sick. Right? We had relatives we didn't see on Christmas. Hi, Larnette, and welcome. So the relatives that we didn't see on Christmas because they were sick, they couldn't come to the Christmas party, right? And we were fine, right? We're not sick at all, you know? And we used to always get sick around Christmas time too, because everybody was getting sick. I don't know, people just get sick around this time. It's colder, motivation, satisfaction, welcome. Even in Hawaii, people, you know, feel like it's colder here, the locals, and they sometimes get sick during Christmas time. And I used to get sick every year. We used to have to go doctor. My son was on antibiotics, which I thought was crazy. He's 4. So I took him out of school, and now he's healthy. And one of the biggest things I can say is if you want to have a healthier life, I heard you say the word sick about 50 times. High motivation, satisfaction. Thanks for listening so carefully. It's a big deal to me because if you want to be healthy, you know, quitting your job will make you healthier, right? If you have a lot of stress, you know, and you can spend more time with your family, your whole family becomes healthier. It's just amazing to me how much you can change your life by becoming better with money and having more freedom. Okay, so that's basically what's going on with me. As you know, I'm very healthy. I'm going to say healthy 50 times because motivation satisfaction said I said 6 or 8. Hi, lifestyle, our kids. So I make active and passive income for my family. I teach people how to make passive income. My husband works a job. So my husband still works, but I got to quit. And we make about $500 a month. Now I make $580 or so a month in passive income and growing. And I make active income, about 15 clients, from my Finance Freedom Mastermind, where people pay me to teach them how to create passive income. Right? Hope that answers all your questions. All right. So the answer to that is I work and my husband works. Now I do something that I love and part-time. Thanks for the heart. Thanks for the heart. So welcome, motivation, satisfaction. The questions, I love it. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, Chapter 9. Thanks for the hearts. Thank you so much for the hearts. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love very much. So Cashflow Quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki, this is a book that a man who I met back in 2011, he told me to read this book. And he was financially free at 35. So he didn't have to work a job. I met him, he was in Hawaii training for Ironman. And he was training every day and working on his diet. So he didn't have to work for a living. He still had a business that gave him income, but he didn't have to work anymore. He was free. He had more free time. So you can always tell how wealthy you are in terms of financial freedom with how much free time you have. The more free time you have, that's how you know how wealthy you really are. Yeah? Okay. So Cashflow Quadrant. This is chapter 9, Be the Bank, Not the Banker. So we're going to talk about this. My son is 4 years old. Do you have kids, motivation, satisfaction? Okay, so be the bank, not the banker. I have focused on the B portion of the formula we do have because without the proper mindset, you cannot be prepared for economic change. Okay, I'm not going to read the book, sorry. Got into automatic mode. But basically, last week we talked about how to get rich, right? That was an exciting topic. If you missed it, motivation satisfaction does not want kids. It's so funny. That's funny. Hi, DB65, welcome. Okay, so let's talk about it. So basically, in this book, he talks about a great transfer of wealth in the very beginning, and he talks about the Tax Reform Act of, I think it was 1986. Yeah, the Tax Reform Act of 1986. So the Tax Reform Act. Hello, hi Leonardo Richard, and welcome to the live Periscope. Thanks for joining in. So Tax Reform Act of 1986, basically his rich dad called it. Robert Kiyosaki is famous for his book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where he has this dad who's rich, who teaches him about money, and his poor dad, who is very highly educated and knows nothing about money, teaches him about how to be poor, basically. So he learns how to be rich from the rich dad. And from the rich dad calls him one day and asks him, are you in real estate or the stock market? And he says, nothing, neither. I'm building my business. All my money's in my business. Hi, Kevin, welcome to. Hi, guys, welcome. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to answer questions from people that are not relevant to the topic. But thanks for the question, motivation, satisfaction. Love you. Okay, so anyways, Cashflow Quadrant, he asked him, are you in the stock market or real estate market? And he says, I'm not in anything, I'm in business. That's good, because there's going to be a huge change. There's a tax reform coming up, right? Then the Tax Reform Act was passed. What the Tax Reform Act of 1986 did was it tied up certain loopholes. There were loopholes in the tax law that let self-employed people, hello, welcome to Instagram, to Periscope, thanks for the heart, that self-employed people like doctors, accountants, they could get tax advantages by buying real estate and using the losses to offset their income, right? Because maybe a lawyer or a doctor is making like $200,000 a year from their business, and then they didn't want to be taxed on the entire thing, so they would get a property, and then if the property took losses, those losses would lower their income and if it was taxed. Well, the Tax Reform Act of 1986 stopped allowing self-employed people to do that. I'm not sure how means welcome to Periscope. Thanks for being on. So what happened was property values started declining because everyone was selling their properties because now they had real losses and no tax advantages. So they just started selling off their properties. All right. So at this time, for Rich Dad and for Robert Kiyosaki, they started buying property. Right. It was a perfect time for them to start buying property. Okay. And this is how he became a bank, all right? The reason he started doing real estate, all right? Now, there's different reasons, but he says basically the first one was the price. At the time of that Tax Reform Act in 1986, the prices of real estate tanked. Hi, old man, 1965. And as you guys know, in 2008, real estate prices also tanked. So there are different times during history where real estate has gone up and down, right? Hawaii, it never really went down that much, but anyway, that's okay. Anyway, the price of real estate was so low that the mortgages were the payments for mortgages were much lower than fair market rent, right? So he could rent it for a lot more than the mortgage payment. So he decided to go into real estate. Second thing, he had financing. He could borrow money from banks. He could borrow money from a bank, and then the bank would help pay for the real estate. So that's another reason he went into real estate. Third reason, taxes. Right? When he bought real estate, and if he made a capital gain on the real estate, he could reinvest it into more real estate and wouldn't be taxed on it, right? But he also tells you don't do things for tax reasons, right? Always do things because you're going to get a profit and makes financial sense. Taxes are only a benefit, all right? Never do things just for tax reasons, right? Number 4, cash flow. Since rents were the same and he could collect rent from all these properties that were being sold on the cheap, he would make a lot of cash flow doing it. So it made sense for him. So basically the rents bought him time until the real estate prices went up, and then he could sell the real estate. So he had a good cash flow coming in. And he had the opportunity to be a bank. And that's what he wanted to do from day one. He has always wanted to be a bank. Thanks for the heart. And so he really wanted to do that. So how do you become a bank? So this is when he talks about how he did it, which is really interesting. I was reading it like, oh, that's how you do it. So I haven't done this. And so if you're interested in learning, just keep listening. Hello, Connect, Bryn, Richard, welcome. And Mesri Money, welcome. So be the bank, not the banker. And Rich Dad Poor Dad, he wrote about you can create money and often be the role of banker. And so he has a nice example here. I don't know if you can see my book. I can tell that Facebook can see it. I think Instagram can see it. I don't know if Periscope can see this as well. But basically, there is a chart here with boxes, okay? Now, the boxes represent assets and liabilities, right? So this is how, Rick is like, no, I can't see it. Assets and liabilities, okay? So one side is assets, one side is liabilities. An asset is something that makes you money, okay? A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. So basically, this is asset, and this is liability. So he basically, and Rick can see it. Yay, thank goodness. So what happens is, excuse me, he uses this chart to understand a lot of what goes on with money for him. All right, so this chart is very helpful for him to understand, to graphically understand what's going on. So when he bought a property, he had the mortgage, right? So maybe he bought a property. I think he had a property that was $100,000. He had a $70,000 mortgage on the property. So that $70,000 is a liability, and that's a mortgage. He has to pay that mortgage, so it goes in the liability column. Okay. Now the asset is he sells the property to somebody else. All right. He puts out an ad, and he's like, owner distress, low, easy monthly payments, no bank checks or anything, low money down, you can buy your own place, your own house. And he sells the house for $100,000, and he puts that in his asset column. Okay, so you have liabilities and assets. All right, so that's what's going on in the chart. All right, so what happens is he put $70,000 on his liability, but $100,000 on his asset column. So what he did was he sold the house. So he'd buy a house. Okay, he bought a house for let's just tell you exactly what he did. $80,000 he bought a house. All right. There's a house for sale, it's real cheap, it's worth $100,000. They're selling it for $80,000 because they're trying to get rid of it, because they made a bad real estate deal, they're losing money left and right, and want to get rid of it. So they sell it to him for $80,000, right? He then takes this property, puts down $10,000 of his own money as a down payment. He has a mortgage of $70,000. Okay, you guys understand that? He put down $10,000. He has a mortgage of $70,000. $70,000 mortgage goes in his liability column. He owes the bank $70,000. Now then he goes around and he advertises the property. You can buy this for $100,000. Owner is distressed. Need to sell. Let me give you the exact language because I think it's important. Actually, because I was reading it, I'm like, house for sale. Owner desperate. No bank qualifying, low down payment, easy monthly payment. All right. So then his phone rings like crazy because everyone wants to buy this house. They don't have to go through bank qualification. Oh my God, it's such pain, right? So then he sells it with a lease purchase contract. All right. So he sells it directly to the buyer. So there's no bank involved. He becomes the bank. He sells the property to someone else with a lease purchase contract. Okay, that's the term, lease purchase contract. All right, and then basically what it is an IOU. All right, so the person who bought the house is basically signing a contract that says, I owe you $100,000 for this house. Okay, so basically they have an IOU. Then the transaction is registered at the title and escrow office. They handle the payments, all right? If the person defaults, on the $100,000, he forecloses and he sells the property to the next person who wants a low down, easy monthly home to live in. People will line up for the opportunity because they don't have to qualify at a bank. All right. So the net effect is that he created $30,000 in his asset column, and he's paid interest, just like a bank is paid interest for its loan. Okay, so did you guys understand what happened? So he became the bank. He doesn't have to use a bank. He did use a bank to get a mortgage, but he became the bank because the person who bought the property is paying him directly. So it's paying him interest. And the person doesn't pay, the property goes to him, not the bank, right? Because he's paying the bank the mortgage payments every month. The buyer of the property bought the property, giving him payments, yeah? And not only is he getting payments, he doesn't have to pay for maintenance fees, he doesn't have to pay for electricity, utilities, because he doesn't live in it. The person who bought the property is paying property taxes. The person who bought the property is paying maintenance fees, electricity, all that stuff. Okay, so he doesn't have to maintain the property, doesn't have to do anything with it except collect payments with interest. And Rick is like, that is a very smart structure. Yeah, tell me about it. I was like, can I do that with this condo? I was like reading that this morning. I'm like, oh my gosh. This is not the first time I've read this book, but I don't know about you guys. I sometimes have to read the same book more than once to actually fully understand what they're saying and actually apply the knowledge. I mean, a lot of times I'll read a book, but it doesn't mean I do what the book says, right? Sometimes I read it and don't understand it fully. And then sometimes I read it again and I'm like, holy cow, I can totally do that now, you know, thanks to the heartstring. I don't know if I can do that with this condo. I'll have to think about it, but that's a good idea, right? So if you look back at the charts, just from the explanation, and hopefully you can all see it. I think everybody can see the chart. Maybe not. A little bit. Yeah, I think you all can see it. Okay. So basically, the liability is the $70,000 mortgage. Okay, the liability this is Robert Kiyosaki's balance sheet, the one doing the deal. His liability, $70,000 mortgage to the bank. His asset is a $100,000 IOU from the person who bought the property. All right? Hi, Steva. Welcome. And then this is the person who bought the property. This is their asset liability. Okay? The person who bought the property has no asset because they don't own it yet. And they have to pay for it. And once they pay for it, they own it. It's a lease contract. Their liability is they owe $100,000 to Robert Kiyosaki for the house. Okay? So they have a $100,000 IOU, but Robert Kiyosaki, he has an asset and a liability because he has become the bank. Because the bank owns the asset. So that is how he becomes the bank. All right? So the point of this webinar today is to be the bank, not the banker. All right? So I used to be, like I said, I used to work for a bank, which is kind of funny. Okay. But anyway, that's how banks make money. They mortgage properties and they basically control the property because if you don't pay them for your payments, they can take your property away. Yeah. So they basically have money coming to them with interest. They still have an ownership interest in the property, right? So that is how they are a bank. If you want to become a bank, you must sell directly to the buyer. And like he says in here, you need a lease purchase contract. All right? So that's very specific. This is a very specific webinar. You know? Hi, Brady 1220, welcome. Hi, Blue Key, welcome. Very interesting way to become a bank. So just wanted you guys to understand that. He basically says it's like having a savings account, $30,000 without saving any money, right? And he has an interesting point here. He says that the government does not give people a tax advantage for saving money, right? The government gives you a tax advantage for owing money, right? They let you deduct your interest from your mortgage payment. They don't give you a tax advantage for saving money. And he said he doesn't think banks will ever ask the government to do that because your savings is a liability to the bank. Because when you save money at a bank, they owe you money, right? So your savings account is a bank liability, right? And the U.S. has a low savings rate simply because banks do not want your money. They don't need your money. What they need is to make loans to make money. That's how banks make money, right? And as a person who used to work at a bank, I know that is true because we always had to make loans to create money for the bank, right? Loans make the bank money. This is the truth. Okay, thanks for the heart, guys. All right, savings accounts are also important to a bank because the more money they have on hand, the more they can lend. But the real creator of wealth for a bank is the lending of money to other people. Hi, GT. Yeah, I'm welcome. Thanks for the heart. So there are several interesting things about. So he has another diagram where he shows you. This is his when he. Sorry, let me move this over so everyone can see it. So basically, the asset is the $30,000, okay, that he makes from the deal. Right? He makes 30. Hi, Night Shifter 215. That asset gives him income, and basically the income he gets from the asset is. I'll tell you in a second, but that's the chart. Okay, so basically, he has created $30,000 in his asset column. He's paid interest because the person who bought the property is paying interest to him. Hi, Saudi Arabia, welcome. So he laid off his risk and he hedged his risk on another buyer. Right? So he started becoming a bank. This type of transaction is done all over the world, right? So even if you're not in the United States, you can still do this, whether you're from another country or not, right? Wherever I go, people say you can't do that, but you can. And he says most commercial properties are sold this way. All right, thanks for joining in, guys. Hi, Zagar Kinan. Welcome. So if you missed the example I just did, be sure to watch the replay. You can also go to my blog, yesfinanciallyfree.com, and catch the replay. Okay. So he determines the interest rate from the $30,000, and what he charged the person who bought the property, he charged 10%. Back when this book was written, interest rates, if you saved money in a bank, you got 5% interest. Hi, 5%. Can you believe it? Now you only get 1, right? It's kind of totally not even close. So back then, if you wanted to sell a property to someone and they paid interest on a mortgage, 10% was not crazy back then, all right? So he made 10% interest, all right? So now, depending on your market, real estate might not be the market that makes you the most money. But at his time, hi Bruno 483, welcome. At this time when he wrote this book, real estate was where it was. Okay, so he charged 10% interest, right? He created $20,000 that did not exist before because he sold the property for $100. He bought it for $80 and sold it for $100. So he created $20,000 out of nothing, basically. Hi, Sam Cornu. This $20,000 was created tax-free. All right, tax-free. For the average person and employee, if you wanted to make $20,000 after taxes, you would have to earn $40,000. Hi, Russia, welcome. Welcome, Russia. All property taxes, maintenance, management fees are responsible to the buyer because he sold the property to the buyer. And then there is more that you can do, even more creative things. Okay, and then he's basically showing you, if you wanted to make $20,000, if you wanted to make $20,000, thanks for the hearts, guys. If you wanted to make $20,000 as an employee, and I'll show you the chart so you guys can see it. Let me see if I get it all. I think you all can see it. Hold on. Let me get it positioned correctly. Okay, so if you wanted to make $20,000 as an employee, you have to make $40,000 in income. And then after taxes and all the expenses, then you get $20,000 in your asset column. Okay? And that's if you don't spend it. Most employees would spend all that money and save nothing. But if you, for an employee, that's how you make $20,000. So you'd have to make 40 to get 20 as an employee because of all the taxes and everything. But if you bought a property for 80 and sold it for 100 with a lease purchase contract, you're making $20,000 tax-free, right? So if you think about it in this way, you're creating money almost from nothing. You're becoming your own bank. And that's the key to the chapter. So if you guys want to know more about this, I highly recommend you just buy this book and read it yourself. Okay? It's not that hard to get a book, right? You can go to the library if you can't afford it and check it out. It's called The Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad's Guide to Financial Freedom. And like I said, it was recommended to me by someone who was 35 years old and financially free, and he said to read it and study it, and it was a very good book. So this book is not hard to get access to and just read it yourself, right? And if you want to read it and go over it with someone, read it and follow along and jump on live with me, right? Because I'm reading the whole book all over again. So you can just go over it with me, if you want to be motivated to read it. So this is an interesting part next, and then I'm going to end it, okay? The income stream is sheltered, okay? They use corporations. So when you do this sale of the property, you're not selling it personally from yourself. You're doing it through a corporation. That way, all the income earned is through corporation, right? And if you know anything about corporations, you can actually subtract out your expenses before you're taxed, right? So you have income expenses, the expenses are subtracted out of income, and then you're taxed on the remainder in a corporation. If it's personal, if you're an employee, you actually get taxed on what you make before you have any expenses, right? So it's a lot different. So when you're a corporation, you can actually create income, you'll have expenses, and that offsets everything, and you don't pay as much taxes. So that's the first thing. Another thing, you have protection for your assets, because if it's in a corporation and you get sued, they sue the corporation, not you personally, right? And the only thing that can be lost is the assets within the corporation and not your own personal assets. So that's another thing that rich people do, is they shelter their wealth in corporations, right? So it's important to learn about corporations. Hi, Destiny Planners, welcome. Hi, Y Mocho and operator and Tricky Girl and Eston with lots of people. Welcome. Instagram Live. Thank you for joining in. And so we already talked about that, but basically as an employee, you're taxed, right, when you make the money, but as a corporation, you're taxed on the difference between expenses and income. So you definitely save a lot more money for yourself when you have a corporation. All right? You can also do things in a corporation that you can't do as an employee. Like you can have your corporation expense childcare, right? So let's say one of the benefits of working in a corporation is it pays for childcare if you wanted to have childcare paid for, right? So if that was the case, then your corporation can pay out money for childcare, and that's an expense in the corporation, which is a whole different thing than you being an employee and paying for childcare after tax, right? So there's a lot of different things you can do, all right, with a corporation. And so he recommends if you're an employee now, you work a job, keep your job, but start your own business or start investing and create a corporation and start learning this on the side, which is what I did, right? I worked at a bank, but I learned how to create my own business on the side, and my internet business where I'm here now talking to you guys about money and helping people become financially free, stuff like that. That's my business. I started that on the side while I was working, right, as a job. And I did that, and then I also invested money, right, and created passive income at the same time. So you don't have to just quit your job and jump into something you don't understand. You can do it part-time. And like I said, I'm a mom, so I'm super busy, but I can still do it part-time. And you just get help. You get people to help you. I actually have accountability partners who help me stay accountable. I have one accountability partner that I report to every weekday. I have to do 1 hour of marketing. I told you I do this business part-time. I do 1 hour a day minimum. Right? On Wednesdays, I do more than an hour, but every other day I do 1 hour on the weekdays. And I have to report to him or I owe him $500. And then he reports to me. He's doing Forex training. He does 4 hours a day. He's unemployed. He has no kids. He's not married, so he's got more time than I do. Basically, he does 4 hours a day. He reports to me, or he owes me $250. So we're actually each other's accountability partners. Okay? So there's different ways to motivate yourself to do this, but the important thing is if you start, right? Even if you have a job, like I used to have a job, I quit my job last year, but I didn't quit my job immediately. You know, I wanted to be financially free back in 2008, 2009, but I didn't quit my job in 2008, 2009, right? I had all the debt to pay off. You know, I opened a company in 2008 or 2009, and I started working internet businesses, trying to figure out how to make it work, right? Figure out my niche and all that. And I did that while I was working a job. But I did learn how to create these tax benefits from running corporations. So it is important if you want to become financially free. And if you're on this broadcast, I assume you want to become financially free, or you're already financially free, because that's all I talk about. Thanks for the heart. So if you do really seriously want to become financially free, create more time freedom in your life, then you can do this part-time, right? It is possible. I'm living proof. I checked my financial freedom percentage last week, Wednesday, and I was at 25%. What does that mean? You can actually calculate a financial freedom percentage for yourself. You take your expenses that you have to pay every month, and you take your passive income, right, that you make, and you divide your passive income by your expenses, and that's your percentage, right? So I make 25% of my expenses I make from passive income. So as soon as I make 100%, I'm completely financially free. Right? I'm not there yet. So basically, 25% of my income is created by passive income right now. So that's a really high percentage. When you get to that high, you can do things like I did. You can like restructure your life, especially if you're like, because I'm married to my husband. Because quitting my job would make, saves us so much money in taxes, and I have more time to invest, and it just makes, once you start creating more and more passive income, your lifestyle and your choices change, right? You might be able to work part-time instead of full-time, because you make 25% of your income in passive income. You might not need that full-time job anymore. You can transition into a job that you like better. There's a lot of things that happen when you start generating passive income, start creating your own businesses. Okay, so anyway, he talks about one more example in here where he got free land, and then he talks about history and why the governments leave I think I'm going to end with this one. Why do governments leave businesses and investors alone, right? Why do they tax employees so much and they leave businesses and investors alone? The thing is, the government does want to tax businesses and investors. The government wants to tax everyone, okay? Let's be serious here. The government wants as much money as possible. But the reason they don't tax businesses and investors is because if you tax a business and investor too much and unfairly, they're going to leave your country. I think that makes sense to you all, right? They're going to leave because they can have their business somewhere else where the tax laws are better, right? That's why a lot of businesses go to Nevada, because the tax laws are so good there, right? So the reason the government does not tax businesses and investors too harshly is because they want to keep them in the country, right? Because businesses create employees, right? They create income for the states that they're in and the countries that they're in. Hi, Diamond. K25, welcome. Thanks for the heart. So that's why businesses and investors are not taxed too harshly by our government, because the government needs them to create income for the country, right? Don't bite the dog that feeds you. All right? This is a really good chapter. It has some more examples in it that I thought were really good. Another one he had was he wanted to buy land, but he didn't want to just buy land and get a loan on it. So he bought a large chunk of land that had a house on it, fixed it up a little bit, sold the house. I think that he ended up buying 115 acres of land, had one house on it. He just wanted to have land with his wife. So they basically fixed up the house, and they sold the house for, let's see, he bought the land for $115,000, but he sold the house and the 30 acres for $215,000. So then he kept 57 acres for himself, right? He basically bought all the land for 115, but then he sold part of it for 215. So he basically got 57 acres for free, and he got $15,000 cash profit after tax. So that's how he ended up buying land without paying any money basically to himself. Really interesting. So the chapter is very good. I highly recommend you read it. Chapter 9 in the Cashflow Quadrant, Be the Bank, Not the Banker. Really gets you to really think about things that you do in your life. It really makes your mind really work hard. Anyway, thanks for being on. Like I said, my name is May Dulblau. The blog called YesFinanciallyFree.com, where I'm broadcasting live. I don't know if my live went through today because my YouTube kind of got pumped up. Maybe it went through, maybe it didn't. But hopefully. But you can always catch me live on Wednesday mornings at 6:30 a.m. Hawaii time. I live in Honolulu, Hawaii. And I have a blog, YesFinanciallyFree.com, where it teaches you about financial freedom, how to create money with your assets, and how to have more time freedom, which is important to me because I love my family. I like spending time with my son and my husband. Not just my son, I love my husband too. If you want to have a healthy marriage, spend time with your husband and your wife. Okay? Just saying. So I believe in time freedom for all families, especially with children. And just go to my blog, YesFinanciallyFree.com. Click on the link in the profile in my social media channel, and just subscribe to the mailing list. Put in your name and your best email address. I'll see you guys next week. Aloha and thank you for being on the live with me. See you guys next week, guys. Love you. Bye. Thanks to the heart.